Welcome to the Tonya Hoffman's Fabulous TV Show. I am Tonya Hoffman, and this is my fabulous TV show. And as always, I have an incredibly fabulous guest today. My guest star is Tina Dietz. Yay, Tina!
Yay!
So we're going to hear from her shortly. Remember that we would love for you to be on my show and get involved with the Public Speakers Association. We have a blast. And if you've been really trying to figure out how do I market myself more, here you go. So go to Public Speakers with an S Association, all spelled out.com, and find out all the information about joining the membership today. We also just partnered with Speaker Hub, and so now you get 2 for 1. So you get premium and with Speaker Hub and then PSA, and it's all happy. So it's going to be awesome. And then don't forget about the upcoming conference, publicspeakersconference.com. We'll give you all the information about Vegas, July 1st through the 3rd. We got amazing people that are going to be there and some real big surprises. So we can't wait. All righty, so let's go into today's show. So Tina is one of those people that I know everyone who's listening, if you love me, you're going to love her because she's just got one of those personalities that's just genuine and real and funny as heck. So we want to see her funny side. So, no pressure.
No pressure. Thanks.
So she is an expert in audio recording. So Tina, tell us about you and what you got going on.
Well, yeah, there's a broad question. This morning for breakfast. No, what I'm most excited about is that finally, because I'm one of these people that I'm guessing like a lot of you out there grew up pretending that their hairbrush was a microphone in front of the mirror or sitting with I'm going to date myself here, your little tape recorder or your boombox, making mixtapes or fake audio, radio shows and things like that. I have, in the last several years, devoted a lot of my time in business to helping people unleash the voice of their business and unleash the voice of their message with audio, specifically with podcasting and with audiobooks. And we're experiencing such a wonderful renaissance of audio right now, and it's just continued to grow and grow and grow, and there's no end in sight. So we're living in an unprecedented time where, just like we're doing right now, anyone can really design and create their own show. And there's some phenomenal, fabulous ways to get that done and to do it well. And especially if you're a speaker, an author, an expert in some way, use it as a way, a huge leverage point to get your message out to the world.
Yeah, I think it's people, get all caught up in all the fanciness of things nowadays, but it really comes down to when do people have time to listen or, really learn anything? And it's audio, right? They're in their car, they're on their computer, they're doing other things. They could be listening at the same time.
Exactly. It is by far the most accessible form of media. People can listen to audio when they can't be reading. People can listen to audio when you can't be watching video. And it is also, in the great scheme of things in terms of production, very cost effective is to be able to get decent quality video from home nowadays, and also use the equipment that you have to do lots of different things in terms of creating multiple products, multiple income streams, demos. I mean, you name it. You could do an awful lot with just a few pieces of equipment.
I love it. One of the things that I've always noticed for myself in my own business is I used to do CDs and DVDs.
Yeah.
And it would be the same thing, as just one was video and one was audio. And I would sell 3-4 times as many CDs as I ever would DVDs. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because it is so accessible for everybody to use.
Well, even if you look at really big names like Tony Robbins or Zig Ziglar, they're all best-selling authors, but what has sold more over time by far, has been their CDs and their audio packages. And not only is it more accessible, but it creates a relationship. It creates more of a relationship. And in many of the narrators that I work with to publish their audiobooks, it's not even them doing the narration. because we find that it's not advantageous always to do that with an author. There's kind of a whole diagnostic process we go through with that. But as long as it's the author's words delivered in the spirit that the author intended, the listener still feels on a very neurological basis, I mean, these are going pretty much right into your head, that you have that intimacy. And that happens with podcasting as well. When I was interviewed 40 or 50 podcasters for a documentary called The Messengers, which is all about the rise of podcasting. It just actually is being released. The premiere was yesterday in Tampa, strangely enough. What all of these podcasters said from all walks of life, all over the world, all different types of shows, was the intimacy that they had with their audience was something that they couldn't get and couldn't achieve with any other medium. So that's really important when we're looking to create those relationships.
When someone is, trying to do their audio, is there like specific tips? Because like you were saying, sometimes you shouldn't do your own audio.
Yeah. Well, in a venue like this, that's a lot more casual, you can get away with a lot more. So for example, my microphone is actually off screen right now. There he is.
Nice.
And I have, because I'm a trained voice actor as well as some, the other things that I do in the world, I've been using this Blue Yeti microphone for years, going on 10 years now. And it's been a workhorse for me. It's traveled with me to Costa Rica and Canada and New York and Florida and the other places that I live. But there's more options than that as well. The two microphones that I recommend are the Blue Yeti and something called the ATR 2100. You can order both of them on Amazon or get them anywhere, Guitar Center. If you go to a music store and you want to experiment with different microphones, many times they have them set up. But you don't have to spend tons and tons of money to get good quality sound. And that's why I recommend those two microphones specifically, because they're a good place to start. When you start doing podcasting, then you level it up a bit more when it comes to audio. And you want to make sure that your room is set up to not give you a lot of room noise or echo. And I would also never be this far away from a microphone. So when you're doing any type of voice acting or you're doing audiobook recording, you're always a hand span away. So if you make the hang loose sign, your hand like this, and you take your microphone, you want to be about that far away from the mic. And so it's pretty close. So you don't want to eat the mic and you don't want to be too far away from it, unless you're doing some other kind of vocal effects, which is more than we're probably going to get into today. The other thing you want is a filter. I don't have a filter on right now, but you can get a pop filter, or for my female friends out there, if you've got a piece of pantyhose hanging around that you don't want to put on your body anymore, you can put that over your microphone, and that also will give you a little bit of filter so that when you say things like P's and T's, you don't pop the sound off a little bit. And I just use if you have a Mac, you can use GarageBand, which comes built in. And if you have a PC, you can use a piece of free software called Audacity to edit your software. And both of those are pretty intuitive and pretty easy to use.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So those are some kind of get started tips. Narrating an audiobook is another animal, and there's more to go along with that. There's actually quite a deep skill set with that. But if anyone wants to know more about that, we can always have a deeper conversation.
That's awesome. One of the things I think is a real challenge for most people is the whole mindset of, putting their voice or their message into something that's what they consider permanent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
How often should something be re-recorded? Because this is always my catch is, I record something and then pretty soon I'm like, I really should redo that now, because you're always coming up with new ideas and new adjustments.
If it's a matter of a YouTube channel, let's say, and you're doing video like this, then as long as it's still in alignment with what you're doing, we tend to leave it alone for posterity, and that has a lot to do with the search engine optimization that's associated with YouTube. You don't want to lose that. And you will if you take it down and put up a new recording. So as long as it's still aligned with what you're doing and who you are, I would leave it. Podcasting, podcasts are generally evergreen. They do stay up there. So again, if you're still aligned with it, you don't go back and re-record those episodes. You just record new ones. And many podcasters end up creating multiple shows because it does get a little addictive. Once you get into the groove of it and you're like, oh, I have this great idea for another show, and you want to develop a new show. Or you develop multiple seasons of a show, whether it is audio, video, or just video. I do something called dual casting, which is where we record actually using Zoom in audio and video, and then we use the video on YouTube and we use the audio on iTunes and the other podcasting platforms, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spreaker. There's other outlets as well, so that you can have maximum exposure in your particular show. The one area where, if you're doing recording, that you do want to keep it really fresh is in your courses. Because course information can really change depending on what you're teaching. A lot of people I know who teach social media, they re-record almost every month on certain things because things change so fast. Whereas, speaking skills and things like podcasting, it's a bit more durable of information. So we might just need to update that or tweak it every so often, or offer a whole course live and use that opportunity to do all your re-recording at once.
Nice. I know I like doing things, where you're simultaneously doing something else.
Big fan.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So when someone's getting started, and they're like, okay, maybe their budget is really small, right?
Sure.
And, they've got an idea and they're like, I really want to do a podcast. When you're looking at getting across a message, I know for me, when I have people do our teleconference on the Public Speakers Association, people always ask me, what do you think? And their content is usually amazing, right? They're experts in obviously what they know, but they have the same voice the whole time and there's no inflections, and and you can tell they are reading and blah 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 blah. There's no laughter, there's no breaks. And I think that's one of the things that I see as someone that just needs to kind of hone their inflection skills, right?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, actually, before anybody ever is going to host their own show of any kind, I recommend that you get really good at being a guest on shows, because that's the best education. You'll find out about different ways and styles of doing things, what works and doesn't work for people. You have hosts that you can develop those relationships as colleagues, and then, ask for, what their advice on why they do things the way that they do. I also have a colleague who actually has a podcast about being a good guest. It's called Get Guest Ready. Her name's Nicole Holland. So if you want to go to iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you find your podcasts, or you go to the website getguestready.com, she's got a whole wonderful set of tips for people on how to be a good guest on podcasts. It's really, really valuable. And that's a free resource. So I'd recommend that anyone who's interested to go ahead and check that out. But vocal training, freeing your voice up is always something that we're looking to do, to either be more musical or more animated or more impactful, and learning how to get your point across, more deeply. That's a matter of kind of experimentation, and also, voice lessons and things like that, if you want to go into that.
Yeah, there's always something we can learn and adjust. Sure. No matter how good we end up getting, there's always a next level.
Absolutely.
Well, I've loved having you on. So I know all of the listeners, they know what's about to come. It's what can they get from you for free? What is you're offering them? They're like ready for it.
Sure, no problem. Well, if you go just to the startsomethingshow.com, you'll actually go to my site and you'll be able to listen to all the episodes of my particular podcast. And that will give you lots of advice from lots of different people on what it takes to actually be sustainable in your business. And people are so generous with their information. So that's a good place to start. And if you're interested if you're an author or you're becoming an author and you want to have an audiobook, because it is the fastest growing segment of the publishing industry. Audiobooks outsell ebooks 3-1, and that includes all those free Kindles, let me tell you. So it's a really great way to boost your income when you are an author. So you can download an entire checklist and a guide that I put together to audiobook production, totally free. It's something I want people to have to shorten your learning curve. And you can get that at launchyouraudiobook.com.
Launch your audio.
Launch it.
Book. I'm writing it down.com because I'm going to go do that. Oh my gosh. So I want everybody to go to launchyouraudiobook.com. Like, okay, wait a few seconds until after the show. And then go do that, because who doesn't want to do that? That sounds like so much fun.
It's a good time.
When there's so many things that we can have so much fun with, and one of the fastest way to have more fun in your business and anything that you do is get the stuff that will help you clarify and simplify the process.
Yep.
So jump on opportunities like that to get involved with Tina and contact her, follow her on social media, jump on everything that she's involved with, because she's the type of person you need to know to help you go to that next level. And then also, she's great if you're wanting to have help putting your book together as an audio. I mean, hello, she knows what to do.
It's what I do.
It's what she does. So why wouldn't you just go and just get it done? All righty. Well, thank you, Tina, for being on today.
Tonya.
Oh my gosh. So I definitely want you to come back like often.
Oh, sure.
Fun. And everyone, I'm so glad you were here today. Please come back and listen to our next recording and another fabulous guest star. Who knows who's going to be next time on the Tonya Hofmann's Fabulous TV Show. Yay!
Yay!